Would I be the jerk for leaving my family after they've done so much to help me? To start at the very beginning, I am a 17-year-old female and a lesbian, and my parents are homophobic. I started dating my beautiful, amazing girlfriend 1 year ago. My mom found out almost immediately and told me to switch the one class I had with her and to cut contact. My school counselor is a supportive person, and he put me in a different class in her lunch period. Needless to say, I did not cut contact and just hid everything that had to do with her. After a while of constant lying, constant questioning, and feeling guilty about who I am, I struggled with mental health pretty badly. My parents noticed and pulled me out of my school. For a while, I just was not going to school. During this time, I talked to my sister, who is an 8-year-old female, because I just did not have anyone. I know it is not my responsibility to teach her about gay people, and I know it is too much stress to put on a kid. I regret it, but I am still glad I had someone who would just listen. We went to one therapy session and my mom lied the whole time. She said next year I would be able to go back to my old school, that she does not care that I am gay, and she is not homophobic, and basically that she is really nice to me. The last month of school I went to a school by my grandpa's house, which is 30 minutes away from my house. I was so depressed and had no one. I do not remember much of the end of the year. Now I live with my grandpa during the week and my parents during the weekends. My mom has told me how it is a struggle having to deal with it, but that it is what is best for me. I have been contemplating moving out for years now for countless other reasons, but last week I chose to not move out. My 18th birthday is in 2 weeks, and I have a safe and comfortable place to move into. Yesterday, my mom sat me down to have a talk. She said she knows I have not cut contact with my girlfriend. She said that my girlfriend is horrible for me. If she saw how happy my girlfriend makes me, I do not think she would keep believing that. I honestly do not know what my girlfriend has done for her to say that, as my girlfriend has done nothing but help me. She said that ever since I started dating her, I have gotten worse. She has been saying I have gotten worse since freshman year when she found out I was gay. She told me everyone at my old school was bad for me because they knew I was struggling and never told her about it to get me help. She knew that I talked to my sister, and she called me a horrible daughter and sister. She said I was making mistakes after mistakes and making my sister have a worse childhood than what I had. She told me to cut contact with everyone now. I cannot go hang out with friends anymore. I need to focus on my new life, as it is what is best for me, and I did it to myself. I guess this just made me realize it is not worth it. I know I will feel guilty for leaving my sister, but her saying I am a horrible sister makes me feel less guilty. Moving out at 18 just seems foolish, but I want to surround myself with better people. I want to protect myself and have one normal year of high school. So would I be in the wrong for leaving? Nothing you have done here makes me think you are the jerk here. Just because someone is blood doesn't mean they're family. There is zero excuse for how she has treated you, so getting out is probably the best decision you can make. Once you are somewhere safe, you will be amazed at how much better you feel, and your previous life will feel like a bad dream. Don't let her break your spirit. Protect yourself and be confident in your decision. Am I the jerk for standing at a free concert, dancing Queen Shaggy? I went to my hometown to enjoy a festival with my family and girlfriend. There was live music from local bands throughout the day. Towards the end of the evening, the opening band for Shaggy came out. They sang Dancing Queen, You Make My Dreams Come True, Don't Stop Believin', and other songs. Then there was a break. A man came up behind me and said, "Hey, hey, hey." I turned around and he said, "There are people behind you who would like to enjoy the show too." I was confused and somewhat angry because there was a group of people standing and dancing to our left and right. In front of us was the fenced-in seated section, where the majority were standing and dancing as well. My mother chimed in and said, "Well, they should stand and enjoy the show." The man started to yell, "No, they don't want to stand." Once I saw his face turn red, I turned around because it was surprising. Now we were mad. When I am mad, I can admit, I get stubborn. While they were getting the stage ready for Shaggy, I stood. We did not have lawn chairs, and the blanket we had was being used by a little girl who was wrapped up in it like a sleeping bag, asleep. We could have sat on the grass, but like I said, I was digging my heels in. Once Shaggy was about to start, a woman came up behind me and asked, "Are you going to stand the whole time?" I said yes with a straight face. She started saying something else, and then my mother intervened. I did not hear everything that was said. I heard my mother say something about security. This is ridiculous, and that's my daughter. The lady left. Shaggy came on stage and he was getting irritated with the crowd for sitting. "This isn't an opera," he kept saying, and he was trying to teach the crowd dances and get them involved. So we danced and screamed and sang, trying to enjoy ourselves. Then it was over, and everyone left. I guess I am asking if I am the antagonist because I can see their side, but I can see our side too. The seating was free. There were other people standing and dancing and screaming, and how they approached us played a big role. I want to hear what unbiased people think so I know what to do if this happens again. I sincerely hope not. Your actions don't make you a jerk. It's an outdoor free concert that doesn't even have seats. If they want to sit, they can watch Shaggy on YouTube at home. Yes, it might have been a bit petty, but being petty doesn't make someone an asshole. Am I the jerk for telling my sister to stop bothering me with her personal problems? My sister, who is 17 years old, and I, who am 19 years old, have always been very close. However, being sisters close in age, we argue a lot. A common argument arises when my sister talks to me about personal problems. This varies from boy issues to family arguments or a decision she had to make earlier in the day. Recently, my sister experienced her first talking stage, which was exciting for her. However, like most talking stages, it did not result in a relationship. I was there for her and reassured her that it was nothing to be embarrassed about and that it was not something she should lose sleep over. It has been about a month, and it is still all my sister talks about. I have entertained it for a while because my sister does this thing where it seems like she is asking for help, but she has already made up her mind about the solution. Once you finish giving her your advice, she disregards it and tells you what she has already decided. It has gotten to a point where I'm annoyed to listen to her because I know she does not need my help in deciding anything. Her asking questions and waiting for my answer feels like she is wasting my time. I genuinely always listen to her and offer my advice after she is done talking. I would 100% listen to her even if she did not need my advice. The issue is that it is so constant that I already know what her solution is going to be. It is difficult to explain where my annoyance is coming from. This is also what I struggle to explain to my sister when she is mad at me for not listening or being rude. Every single time, without fail, she tells me that this is why she hates talking to me about things and how I am the worst kind of person to talk to. She also brings up the fact that she listens to me when I talk to her about my problems. Yes, I am not denying that she does listen. However, the difference is that I rarely talk to her about my personal problems, and if I do, I am not constantly asking her what I should do about the same situation. She does not even give me a chance to explain why I am so bothered without interrupting me and accusing me of being the worst kind of person. So I just tell her not to talk to me. If she feels so ignored and does not want to bother me with the same thing over and over again, that is completely fine with me. I am not going to let her degrade me simply because I am tired of hearing the same thing. I understand that this is just sisters fighting, but it has gotten to a point where I obsess about how I respond and act while people are talking to me about stuff. Please tell me if I am in the wrong so I can figure out if I need to genuinely work on myself. There are no jerks here, OP. She may want to talk out her thoughts as an anxiety release, which is a perfectly normal human desire. Not everyone is good at listening without problem solving, and it's okay if that's not your strong suit. Just let her know kindly that you love her, but are more oriented towards solution-based conversation. If she needs to vent repeatedly, suggest she find a friend who is better suited for that kind of support. Am I the jerk for asking my friend to meet me in the mornings? My friend, who is a 33-year-old female, and I, a 34-year-old female, meet up occasionally to catch up and have done so all our adult life. In the last couple of years, she barely tries to meet me, and if I suggest it, she often says she is not available, even though I see her meeting up with other friends frequently. I tried to arrange something recently, and it seemed obvious she was not keen. I asked what was wrong and why she hardly wants to meet me. She said it is because I only ever want to meet in the mornings and usually just want it to be at my house, sitting on my sofa and talking. She said she is not a morning person, but does not mind going out for something nice like brunch, which is one of the things I see her doing a lot with others. She said she does not enjoy meeting up in the mornings and finds it boring just sitting in my living room talking. She is happy to do it occasionally if that is what I prefer, but after all these years, she is tired of this being our social life and taking time from her day for it. She said she has tried to organize meals out in the evening with me, coffee meetups in the afternoon, and morning brunches somewhere. But I always make it clear I want to meet at my house, and sometimes hers. It is okay to do that once in a while to catch up, but if that is all we do, it feels awkward and not exactly her idea of fun. I said I have seen her going to other people's houses too, sometimes even in the late morning. She said those people actually host with a little spread of food and drinks and make it a fun social event, and there are more people there too. I said obviously that is not fair, as it is just us two in our scenario, but I have tried to invite a mutual friend before. I always offer her tea or coffee when she comes. She said yes I do and she is not complaining, but it is not the same and there is a big difference. I also explained how I have agreed to meet with her for a meal out or a coffee meetup before. She said she can count those on one hand after all these years, and that she is tired of always having to try to convince me and not getting anywhere. She has accepted that I just want to only socialize in my own way, and she finds it hard to make the effort for these meetups, which she does not enjoy. It was an awkward conversation and not exactly pleasant for me, but I guess it was honest. I honestly never saw anything wrong with our meetups. To me, they were just nice catch-ups with a friend. You are the jerk here, OP-ish. It's clear that socializing seems to revolve around personal interests and preferences, and it can come off as a little rigid and controlling. If maintaining this friendship is important, there needs to be flexibility in meeting up at times that suit her and engaging in activities she enjoys. Both parties have different preferences, and the real question is how to use this information to balance the relationship moving forward. Am I the jerk for asking my ex to leave so I can have a girls' night? Okay, so basically for a little backstory, I, a 17-year-old female, broke up with my boyfriend, an 18-year-old male, about a month ago. It did not go badly, but it did not go well either. He has been living with me and my dad for over a year now, and I told him after we broke up that I would not kick him out because I know he cannot get a house easily due to the long waiting lists we have in the United Kingdom right now. He also does not have a job, but I told him that he can stay here and get on his feet a bit. My dad and I have tried helping him a decent amount, but no matter what we say or do, it is like he does not take it into consideration. Recently, I have been really struggling with him being here. Not because I still have feelings for him, as that is the reason we broke up, but because it seems he does not have any future plans on moving forward. Additionally, he can be really passive-aggressive with me. For example, this happened yesterday. I was speaking with my youngest sister, a 6-year-old female, and my ex came in to talk to me. I told my sister to give me a second, but if anyone has younger siblings or young kids, you know how they can be when they want your attention. As he was trying to speak to me, my sister kept repeating my name. I was looking at my ex and told him to continue speaking. Instead of doing so, he muttered under his breath, "Never mind," and slammed the door on his way out of the room. Of course, there are other instances, but that is the most recent one. Now on to the part where I am not sure if I am in the wrong or not. It is my birthday in 2 days, and I want to invite my friends over this weekend. There will be about 6 people, maybe more, and the majority of them despise my ex due to past events, which I do not blame them for. Even though we have broken up, I do not want anything happening between them all. So I asked him to go stay at his dad's for the weekend while I had this celebration. He got annoyed at me and said, "Is this why you don't want to go to the cinema with me?" He had asked if I wanted to go to the cinema with him for my birthday, and I declined because I think he could use the money he has for other things. I explained that it was not the reason I declined and that they were on different days. He then just stared at me, grabbed some pancakes I had made, and before leaving said in an angry tone, "That's really not a nice feeling." He slammed the door on his way out again. My dad spoke to me after and asked what happened. I explained it all, and my dad just hugged me and told me it would be okay. I then went into my sister's room and cried. I feel bad because I told him I was not going to make him leave, but I do not want issues to happen during the event. I also do not want him there because previously he has made the mood of events bad, and I want this one to be happy. Am I in the wrong? You are not the problem. Give your ex-boyfriend a deadline to move out. He can crash at someone else's place. It would be healthier and happier for both of you. Plus, with other housing options like living with his dad, there's no reason he should stay with you. Am I the jerk for threatening my parents with fewer future visits if they don't stop talking about their new neighbors? When my parents' new neighbors moved in, my mom said she went over and introduced herself, offering them her home-baked pecan pie. They refused, citing a pecan allergy. I told her that it was perfectly normal, but she was still upset. A couple of weeks later, she called me again, saying she suspects they are mistreating their son. I asked her to explain what she meant. She said the child is shorter and smaller than an 11-year-old ought to be. I asked if there was anything else, and she said no, but his size makes her think they are not feeding him enough. My dad also backed her up on this observation. They sounded very worried, so I dropped by. He is a bit smaller and shorter than your average 11-year-old, but not by much. Certainly not starving, so I told my mom she's over-worrying. The week after that, I got another call. She said that they still have lights on at 11 p.m., telling me the child couldn't possibly be getting enough sleep for a growing boy. Then I got another call in which she said that the bicycle helmet they got him is too big and doesn't fit properly, which she believes is further proof they don't care about their child's health and safety. Then she asked me to sneak into their house and see if there is something going on. I told her that I can't legally enter their house without a search warrant or reasonable cause, like someone screaming from inside, but she wouldn't listen. She is convinced there is something wrong with them. My dad didn't really sound as though he is worried about the neighbors, but is going along to humor my mom. My husband, who is 32 years old and not a police officer, visits my parents once a week to read to them because their eyesight is getting worse. He told me they have been telling him to ask me to investigate, so I told them that if they don't drop it, I'll tell my husband to stop going over and reading to them every week. He'll go over every other week instead. It's obvious that my mom just doesn't like her neighbors because they refuse to take her pies. My sister later called me saying I overreacted and that our mom is only being an overly concerned neighbor and didn't mean any harm. This is scary. How much spying and obsession is going into this? Your mom took offense at an allergy and is now looking for excuses to justify how much she dislikes them. She kind of sounds like an asshole, to be honest. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.